Welcome, everyone, to episode 178 of Vegas Revealed. We have now seen what the outside exosphere can do. This week, we have new exclusive details about the inside of the sphere.
Then the Miranda Lambert backlash after this moment at her Vegas show went viral.
These girls are worried about their selfie and not listening to the song. It's pissing me off a little bit.
This week, an exclusive account from one of the women who Miranda scolded. Celebrity blogger Perez Hilton is our guest.
Plus, we check out the Awakening show at the Wynn for a second time to see all the updated changes. Our thoughts coming up.
A strip resort that hasn't charged for parking in the past is making some changes. We reveal what we know so far.
We sip on some bourbon cocktails made from Nevada's only ground-to-glass estate distillery. They even got us an Uber for this happy hour.
That was a good one. Plus, a new off-strip hotel that could be a great place to stay if you come in for a game or business.
And all-you-can-eat sushi and all-day happy hour at a sushi restaurant near the Strip.
All that and more this week on Vegas Revealed.
Let's spin that wheel.
Let's go to Vegas, baby. Let's go tonight. Right now. Let's go to Vegas.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 178 of Vegas Revealed. Dana Roselli and Sean McAllister here with another episode and a lot to talk about, as usual.
Oh, my gosh. And, I mean, the buzzworthy thing this week in Vegas is all about Miranda Lambert and what went down at her Vegas show with kind of a quite the curt interaction with fans.
Yeah, so I feel like, there's one take and there's another take. We're going to talk all about it with celebrity blogger Perez Hilton. He now lives in Las Vegas. He kind of really hopped on this story, posted a video. It went viral, and then mainstream media started to pick it up. He actually talked to the girl that was taking this picture. So all that coming up. Stick around. It's a good chat.
It's a very good chat. Absolutely. Another buzzworthy thing still here in Las Vegas, we've talked about it the past couple weeks, the Sphere.
Yes. Everyone's talking about it still.
Yeah, I mean, it's still astounding people. I know friends on social media who live here in Vegas. They're like, hey, what are the inside tips? Where can I go to get the best picture of the Sphere? I want to take my family. They're in town.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is an instant tourist attraction.
It really is. And last week we discussed the best place to see the outside of the Sphere by taking the monorail that goes right by it. But this week, we actually have some details about the inside. I got a little, I don't know if I want to call it exclusive, because there are people that work at the Sphere and see the inside all the time and leave and go home and probably talk to their families about it and friends. But for me, and for I think a lot of people, we haven't heard much about the inside of the Sphere. So I've got some new details that I can share.
Well, and these are details that really haven't been widely reported. So
Right.
from that perspective, let's call it a Vegas Revealed exclusive.
Let's do it.
Why the
all
hell
right?
not?
So I was chatting with someone who works there, and he was telling me that, when it comes to the inside, if you're going to see like a show, like say you're going to see U2, you don't necessarily need to or want to be close.
Interesting.
In section 100 at the bottom.
Okay.
Because there is, and it's kind of like Awakening that we went to in Michael Jackson, right? There's things happening around you.
Right.
But this is a screen. So there are going to be things, it's up and over, he said the screen is. So if you're up front, you're not really going to be able to see the whole kind of what's happening, them utilizing the Sphere.
Right. Because I think what we knew before is that it's a 270-degree screen inside. So it really is designed to envelop you in whatever is being shown.
Right. So if you're going to buy tickets for a show, he was saying 200, 300, the sections are good sections to be
interesting.
in. However, if you are going specifically to be close to that artist and you want to see that artist close up, section 100 is good for you.
Okay.
So if that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like if you're like, I want to get close, I want to be able to see them, then still go with your section 100. But if you're there to experience the show as a whole, you definitely want to sit a little farther back. So I thought that was interesting. Another thing that he was telling me is that there's this area underneath the stage. He was calling it a nightclub, but then he was like, well, maybe more like not a green room, but like a VIP lounge where maybe the artists VIPs will go or their friends and family. But he said it's a really cool spot underneath the stage.
Interesting.
I know. So I was like, okay, that's juicy. Then we also talked about, again, how the screen goes up and over. He said that there was a kind of sound check-ish kind of rehearsal type of thing for you two, and that it's incredible.
Wow.
So I think he's seen some of the images, and he's like, people are not going to be disappointed. And he also said the Postcard from Earth show that's going to be there. Some days it's there two times. I think on some other days it's there 3 times, like 4:30, 7, and 9 or something like that. I forget. But he was saying if you want to see like what that screen can do, this is something you'll want to check out.
Postcard from Earth is
Yes.
what you want to check out.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was saying it will show off what this screen can do. And he was like, you do not see one single pixel.
Wow.
It's unreal. So I thought that was great. Some good advice for folks that are going to go to the show, the U2 show, or any other shows that are going to be announced in the future. Think about that when you're buying your tickets. Also know Postcard from Earth, if you want to really see the screen in its full effect, go see that too.
And again, the screen on the inside of the sphere is the highest resolution screen on planet Earth.
It's unreal.
So
We can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
It is.
Something else is pretty spectacular over at Wynn Las Vegas. Their show Awakening has been reawakened.
Yeah, it has. We mentioned that it closed for a little over a month as they were retooling the show. They took in a lot of feedback. And, a lot of shows do that in Las Vegas. That's common. It's not anything that's like completely out of the ordinary. And we went to see it again. And, our take at the end, you and I looked at each other and had a little discussion. And we were like, it was much better. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think the changes that they made definitely pulled the entire story and the entire production together. Mm-hmm. And that's really, if you go back and listen to our initial critique and review of the show, that's what we were looking for. And they did that. And they added some comedy in there too.
Yeah, I love the comedy. I was snickering through the whole thing. I thought
heard
they
you.
were great. I know, you could hear my big
We
loud
were
laugh.
like separated by an aisle, but I could hear Roselli over there. I was like, oh, she liked that one.
I know. I thought it was so funny. I thought it was really funny. And I loved, like you said, being able to follow the story. I thought the story was easier to follow.
Yeah.
Where, like, actually by the end, I had chills at some moments. So I thought there was emotion and laughter. And I really, really enjoyed it. To the point where actually the next day I was thinking about it again. Like, I really loved that. The costumes, the big dance numbers I thought were really cool.
Yeah.
Utilizing that whole cast and them dancing to music. It moves, and the sound system is great. Remember when that bee buzzed by or something?
Yes,
was
there was
buzzing by our ears?
an insect buzzing in our ears.
Yeah. So
And you leaned over like you were ready to swat at it.
I was like, where is it? Because I kept waiting. Because at one point, some bird flew by us. Did you see that?
Yes.
And I have some video of that actually we can put up if you're watching the video version. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then they still use the big whale. There are so many different elements to this show. You are really visually like, wow, this is stunning. The way the stage moves, the colors, unreal.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. The price point is also something that's new. They've lowered the price point starting at $99. Mm-hmm. They go up at the higher end to $179, which in the grand scheme of Vegas ticket prices for shows is still pretty darn reasonable.
I agree. Yeah. And that theater is gorgeous. The seats are plush. It's beautiful. Go in, grab a drink before the bar area, and the lobby when you walk in has that beautiful ceiling. So it's an experience. I think it really is an experience.
Yeah, that lobby is Instagram worthy in and of itself.
Yes.
For sure.
I did have someone write us on Twitter, though, and say, well, the storyline, that they didn't like how the storyline was simplified. And they said, that's for all you people who can't understand. And I'm like, I get it. There are people with that analytical, deep mind that might have really enjoyed the storyline in the first version, but that's not us. And I feel like probably most of the world.
Even I have had this discussion with friends who are movie critics and who are, big into theatrical productions, who are behind the scenes and create those kind of things. And I've had the same discussion. I'm like, you know what? I am one of those consumers who I just want to go and be entertained. I am not looking for a through line that is going to change my perspective on life. I am not sitting there and dissecting pieces of dialogue and how I just want to be entertained. I want to come away from it and say, you know what, that was really good.
Exactly.
And I want to have been able to understand what I just saw.
Right. Especially when you're in Vegas, you know?
Yes.
I mean, you know. But I did learn little things. I liked how they did bring it all together, and I thought, oh, that was a beautiful what they said at the end. I don't want to give away a lot, and I was like, that is so true. They kind of brought it all together. And so there are some moments that are still very, highbrow, and you look at the way that it makes you look at life and how things grow. So anyway, you'll see if you go see Awakening. I think you should check it out. I definitely think it's worth it. They have, I think, 2 shows a night on weekends, maybe even weekdays.
Yeah.
I know there's a 7 and a 9:30, but we went to the 9:30, and I'm liking this late night show thing. I like doing something before going to the show, then going home.
It was. We went and grabbed a cocktail beforehand with some friends, and then went to the show. It was great.
Yeah, so very enjoyable. And Anthony Hopkins is still narrating. So
He is.
You'll know that. All right, what else? We got to talk parking next door to the Wynn.
Wah, wah.
For how many years have we been saying we love the Venetian because there's free parking?
Yeah.
So apparently the Venetian is changing that. It's kind of a bummer. The Venetian is right in front of the Sphere. So since, the Sphere will be opening in late September, people are saying that that's probably the reason that parking is now going to cost, because there might be some people who park at Venetian and walk over. And we did check out their website to get confirmation of this, and it does say the Venetian Resort currently offers complimentary self-parking as a courtesy. We will begin charging for self-parking later this summer. So it's spelled out there.
So, as you mentioned, this self-parking fee over there at Venetian and Palazzo comes as the Sphere is opening. It comes as F1 is hitting town. It makes us sad.
It does make us sad.
Because that was one of the I love both of those properties to begin with, but it was a big draw to be able to go and park over there for free.
It's true. And it's so interesting because I think we both think this when we have friends in town or there's a group of us that do want to go out on the Strip. We think of the properties that have free parking.
Yes.
Of, okay, what restaurant could we go to at the Venetian? You know what I mean? I mean, it's part of it. It's like, if you're going to go spend money on a big meal, you don't want to spend $30 to park either. And I'm not saying the Venetian's going to cost $30. We do not know the cost yet. We also don't know if there'll be any type of locals discount.
Right.
So, but they do have $35 valet there. But I think that factors in. So it's interesting because then I hear a lot of rumors and buzz that now the Wynn might follow suit. Well, they charged for parking, then they stopped charging for parking. So I'll be curious to see if they'll start charging again. But when I had gone into a restaurant after they made it free again, one of the hostesses was telling me, or maybe it was one of the managers actually, saying, people weren't coming into the restaurants anymore. The locals, the people that drove into the property, we lost money on that, and we felt like it wasn't worth charging for parking. And so we got rid of it. So they definitely proved the point.
I think that there should be at least some sort of parking validation system where if you spend X amount at retail or dining or whatever, then your parking is free. Or be like Resorts World. And if you sign up for the player's card, parking is free. You get it free on the app. You just scan it as you go in.
It's great. And you know what? It works.
It does
That kind
work.
of stuff works to keep that property top of mind.
Yep.
I just booked my parents at Resorts World. They're coming in September, and they haven't been here in a very long time. I want it to be special. But on the Resorts World app, when I used the free parking, I had a couple messages, and it was like 30% off. And I thought, let me look around Resorts World and see what it works. So the benefits of that, getting people to open your app, I mean, smart on them. So it'll be interesting to see if the Wynn starts charging. But again, Venetian has confirmed later in the summer they're going to start charging. We'll keep you posted on what that will cost.
Yeah. Well, moving a little bit south down the Las Vegas Strip over to Planet Hollywood and the Backed Theater. That is the venue where Miranda Lambert, the country superstar, where she performs her Las Vegas residency.
Right. So a little clip of this portion of the show has gone viral this week. Everyone is talking about it. let's listen and hear what Miranda said. She stopped the show and said this.
I'm gonna stop right here for a sec, Danny. I'm sorry. These girls are worried about their selfie and not listening to the song. It's pissing me off a little bit. Sorry. Don't like it at all. We're here to hear some country music tonight. I'm singing some country damn music. Shall we start again?
So if you're watching our video podcast, here is one of the pictures in question. And this is from the woman's Instagram account. Her name's Adela. And again, this is one of several. She took a couple alone, and then there are group shots. I don't know why Miranda called it a selfie, because it's a group shot, and then there's someone taking a picture of Adela. So anyway, it wasn't really a selfie. It was, a group shot, and someone was taking the picture. But Perez Hilton, a long time, the OG celebrity blogger, has moved to Las Vegas, lives in Las Vegas. We want to interview Perez for a longer portion of time about so many things in the future. But Perez actually posted a clip of this video, when it first happened, and it went viral. And then all this mainstream media started picking up on it. People were commenting on both sides. And so he got Adela on his podcast.
Yeah, so this is an exclusive Perez Hilton interview. And so we figured, you know what, rather than us talk about it, let's talk to Perez. So we have Perez on the line with all of his insights and exclusive details. Perez, how's it going?
I'm wonderfully busy. Excited to chat with you guys about a topic that I think has resonated with so many people because twofold. One, many folks love going to see shows. And secondly, we could all picture ourselves in that situation. What would we have done differently? How would we have responded? What are our thoughts? So it's a moment in time with a lot of backstory and context that I think has really engaged people. Plus, since that went massively viral, it was reminded to me that Miranda Lambert is somebody who gets a strong reaction out of people. And I don't necessarily think that's fair. When talking about what happened at her show this past weekend, where she reprimanded some women for taking a photo during a slow song, it's just unfortunate, everything. I think the way she expressed herself was unfortunate. The response that I've seen from some people has been unnecessary. Personally, I've tried to be fair and present all sides. For example, I shared a video with more context where it was alleged that, the women in this group were using flash and taking photos for not just a second, but, it was a disruptive, extended moment. And I do believe there is certain concert etiquette, one of which, for me at least, is don't take flash photography.
Yeah.
But having said that, I see both sides. Maybe the flash went off by mistake automatically. Maybe they just handed the phone to a friend and they forgot to turn off the flash. There's so many variables at play. And I ultimately think, though, it's only going to help Miranda Lambert.
Well, I was going to ask you, no press is bad press, right? All of a sudden, we all know Miranda Lambert has a show in Vegas.
Exactly. I'm old school. I really do believe that. And, a lot of the people, like I mentioned, and I wanted to mention that on purpose, a lot of the people that have been expressing very negative feelings are people who probably would never go to a Miranda Lambert show in the first place because they don't like her personality. They're Team Blake Shelton, this, that, or the other. And what's interesting is, I don't dislike her. I wouldn't say I'm a fan either, but I went to her show, and a few months ago, I gave it a great review. So yeah, this moment happened. It was unfortunate. I don't think other artists would respond that way. And I've since learned that she's done this before at other
Yeah.
shows. She just doesn't like photos or video being taken during certain songs, perhaps. If it's a ballad, maybe she's like, pay attention to me now. If it's an up-tempo raucous number, that's when you could take a photo. But if that's going to bother you so much, then institute the no phone policy that some artists do.
Exactly.
Yeah, or say it before the show or before that song. You know what, guys? I know you all want your pictures. This song's real special to me. Let's immerse in this together. Put the phones down.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. I would speculate, however, that the powers that be would not let Miranda institute the no phone policy because she's not Garth Brooks and she's not Bruno Mars. When I went to see her, it was a decent amount of people there, but it was far from sold out. And the best, easiest, most organic way to sell tickets is with fans taking photo and video and sharing it on social media. So the powers that be want fans to take photos and videos. They're happy about that. Of course, they would prefer for fans to do it as discreetly and unobtrusively as possible. And I think in this situation, after having spoken to this woman, a few things are apparent. She is a huge asset to Las Vegas in that she's one of those locals that goes to see every show. I asked her what she's got coming up, and she was listing, I'm going to this concert, that comedy show, this fight. She shows up. And I also was just curious because I'm a naturally, curious person. I asked her, did she get her tickets for free? That might change my view of things. But no, she paid for the tickets. She paid for those very expensive VIP upfront tickets.
Yeah.
And just because you did that doesn't mean you can do whatever you want, but just gives more context. And as she explained it to me, it was just all a case of unfortunate timing. She, like maybe a lot of people that go see Miranda Lambert in Vegas, was not a big Miranda fan. She just goes to see almost everything in Vegas. She was familiar with some of her music, but decided that she wanted to get a photo with her friends, and they went to take their photo during the end of this one song. And then as they were taking the photo, the song finished, she said, and then the lights went off and they couldn't get the good photo. So then they waited for the next song to try to get a good photo. And that's when it was the ballad. And that's when Miranda called them out.
Right. And, they were dressed nice. I mean, they put effort in. So you look at it and you're like, oh, it's sweet, kind of, And so, but I knew once I commented under your post when I saw the video, and I just keep getting like, I don't know, I've got like a million alerts from that comment, 200 and whatever, 80 likes. But and I was saying it is, part of the context. So I love that you actually, spoke to her to get kind of her side. And hearing that it was a short window of time and they really just wanted the picture. And I must say, and you probably feel this way too, when you go to these concerts, they are right about sometimes it's hard to get a picture of the artist depending on the lighting on stage. And if they felt like this is our one moment.
Especially because the way that the Miranda show is, there's the main stage and then the B stage or satellite stage. And, you as a VVIP want to take advantage of those moments where she's super close to you. I wasn't there. I didn't get to see the women. But like I said, to play devil's advocate or give all sides of the picture, there were some people who claim that the women were being disruptive and obnoxious. I'm not sure. If that's the case, then I would have thought that security would have intervened before Miranda would have even. Or isn't that security's job? That is security's job. That's not Miranda Lambert's job to do that. And how she did it, it just left a bad taste in my mouth, And then I saw even more video. It wasn't just her humiliating them in public, scolding them, reprimanding them. Then she the way she moved her hands, it was so pedantic and just looking down upon them. Like, some of her friends left. She told me she decided to stay, but was in a really bad mood after it all happened. And understandably, I don't think I would have stayed. Like,
I know you,
Yeah.
Perez. You wouldn't have stayed.
no, yeah, I would have not stayed at all.
You would
you
never.
have stayed, Dana?
I don't. Probably not. Probably not. I don't think I would have stayed. It would have been.
What about you, Sean?
No, I would have left.
Well,
I would have said, you know what? If you don't want me to, if you're not going to respect me, and listen, here's my thing. I don't, from what I have seen of the incident, it didn't seem like those women were intentionally trying to be disrespectful to Miranda. If they were, we've had all these incidents of people throwing items at artists. I mean, they weren't throwing anything. I can see how a flash would be disruptive. I totally understand that, there should not be flash photography during a show like that, any production, because it is distracting. But, I mean, a picture is not like
were they
super
drunk?
disrespectful.
Were they being loud? Or like I don't think they were being drunk and loud. It wasn't that situation. And also, even if she would have gotten the tickets for free, like, I went to see Miranda and I didn't pay. I was the guest of somebody, and my time is valuable. Like, if I chose to be at your show, like, that says something. And it is what it is, but I don't think it'll hurt ticket sales. I think it'll only help.
I wonder. Yeah, because Sean and I were saying, like you were saying at Carrie Underwood, she kind of had a fun moment. And I was thinking about other artists. They might be like, you know what, you guys, stop. They might have fun with it. I could see like oh gosh, and I know Gwen Stefani's a bad example because of Miranda, but I'm just thinking, like, Gwen would probably be like, these girls want a picture, you know what I mean? I'm just going to come to the end of the stage. Why don't we take this? Let's do it. And then let's move on with the song so we can all, would have had like a little bit more fun with it. And I even think if Miranda would have said, I love y'all. I'm glad you're here. I love that you want pictures, but I want everyone to be involved in this one. I'm going to pause and start over. You're right. It was just handled in the wrong way.
It was the way that it was. Yes,
Yeah.
It was completely in the way that it was handled. I mean, she could have easily said, "Ladies, I know you want that picture. I'll scoot down to the end of the stage in just a few minutes." But like Dana just said, let's all be in this song together right now.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's a nice way of doing it. You don't need to be nasty to the people who are paying to come and support you.
And if it were an outdoor concert, would have been a totally different ball game.
And like I said earlier, you should be thanking these people on multiple fronts. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I went to go see Taylor Swift in concert, but I keep seeing her show all over my socials.
Oh my gosh, every day.
And, if her show was struggling to sell, which it's not, it's sold out in stadiums across the world, that footage really would help give people this sense of FOMO and make sure that, I got to get my tickets. I got to go see it then,
Mm-hmm.
But, hopefully other artists see this, or hopefully the people behind the Miranda show see this and say, well, let's think about a solution for the future going forward so we don't have another incident like this.
Yeah.
There's lots of different scenarios that could be played out that don't even involve locking in your phone. Like, there could be an announcement that's made, like, no flash photography, or even she might, like Garth Brooks, he doesn't allow anything during his phone. And I wish he would, at least just for like one song. Like,
well, I know you and I talked about that because you asked, Sean and I went, and I said, I kind of liked putting my phone away. You were like, but you would want something. Yeah.
And I feel like if people were given that ability, right? Keep your phone locked up until the last two songs even. I feel like most of the people there, like 95%, would respect that. And then for the last two songs, they take out their phone. And that'd be great. It's like the best of both worlds. For 95% of the show, you have no phones. And then for the last two songs, people get to have their moment that they want to remember forever. And not even, and also, it's not even about remembering the moment forever. The main reason people capture photo and video at shows is to make their friends and family and coworkers jealous. Like, to me, I'm here. It's not about them remembering the moment forever. It's to make other people jealous. Let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah, I mean, that is funny. That's true. That's true. And I am going to point out that Sean and I did go to Miranda Lambert as well on the media night and saw the show. I had never, ever seen her perform before, didn't know a lot of her music. And I thought, she was talented and it was a good show. Felt a little bit more like a concert than a Vegas show to me. But I thought, you know what? It was packed. These people love Miranda. They're here to just, watch her play and listen to her sing and love her music, and it is what it is. But I think you're right. This might help ticket sales unless the fans are angry enough to say, I'm turning in my Miranda tickets, I'm not going. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I have a friend going tomorrow night, so she'll let me know.
Yeah, I don't think so, because the country music fans that are buying tickets, for the average casual concert goer that maybe swayed and bought tickets the day of, perhaps, but I feel like the majority of her ticket sales are her real fans and people in country music. And those folks, at this point in her career, they know who she is, what she's all about. They love the music enough. And even if they may not like this or that or the other about whatever, they'll probably still go to the show anyways, because after a certain point where you become this legacy artist, the songs aren't even about the artist anymore. It's about you and your relationship to the songs and your memories that you made over the decades with the music. So, like, perfect example, Britney Spears. That Vegas show of Britney Spears was incredibly successful, and people bought tickets knowing she wasn't at 100%. Knowing that she was lip syncing, knowing that she was kind of just going through the motions, and yet they still went and had a great time because the songs and the memories and the experiences were more about them than they were even about Britney.
Yeah. They wanted that pic with Britney in the background.
They did. Exactly.
Sean got called up on stage, didn't you, for the Britney show?
I did.
You were one of the ones?
Put in the harness and walked on a leash.
Yeah.
I did that as well.
We need a side-by-side.
One of my proudest moments. No, I mean, who knows? Maybe Miranda's creating a new genre of live performance here. There's those restaurants where your server insults you and is rude to you. Maybe this is that kind of show.
Oh my gosh. Perez, how can we listen to the interview with you and Adela? We go to your Patreon?
Yes, patreon.com/Perez Hilton.
And you're enjoying doing that, right? You're doing like breaking news updates now, right?
Yeah, it's podcasting, as I'm sure you've heard. You've been doing it. Is incredibly difficult to monetize. Let's call it. I like to be honest. Yep. So we've been doing our show, PerezPodcast.com, for 8 years, and we have a very loyal audience. And obviously not everybody's signed up for the Patreon, but people that have been enjoying us for years want to support, and it's been awesome. It's far exceeded our expectations of signups, so we're so thankful for everybody, and it really motivates us to work even harder and do more to make sure that we're really keeping our supporters happy. So that's where I put up that interview, and maybe tonight or later or tomorrow I might post the video elsewhere, but for the majority of the day, the exclusive was on my Patreon, or will be, or has been. So yeah, good. Check that out, or just check out PerezPodcast.com.
Well, we want to have a longer chat with you at some point. We've been waiting because us too, we're working on, doing more video and stuff like that. And we're like, we have so many things to discuss with you. We love that you moved to Las Vegas. I just want to ask real quick before we go, are you enjoying living in Las Vegas?
I am. I love it. I don't even mind the heat in the summer. We would rather live in a place with extreme heat than extreme cold.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, also, I like how you ask that at a time when we're like 120 degrees. How do you like living here, Perez?
It's great.
And also, you can just stay indoors when it's that hot.
Exactly.
Or I find the heat healing. Like, there's something really healing. Like I like when it's that hot. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to want to be outside for long periods of time. I felt like I was dying during the 4th of July parade because I was even though we were under a tent, like we were at the beginning of the tent, so the heat was still the sun was direct.
Right.
But I like every morning. I just like going out and sitting out and working outside for a little bit. Like I just love Vegas, and I love the people. The people who make Vegas great.
Yeah. I agree. And we moved here, so long ago, and I thought I was coming in for 2 years and I never left. So I'm glad you moved here. And we definitely want to talk to you more about family activities and kids activities. I know you do a lot of things with the kids, and we've had a couple of people write us and say, I want to hear what we can do with our family. So we're like, okay, we got to ask Perez all about that. You've been having fun with the fam. I know that.
Yes. Well, we'll chat all about it when we do a bigger thing.
All right. But we had to call you up to talk about this because I know you've been on it since the beginning.
Well, thank you. All right. Well, it was great chatting, and I'll see you guys soon.
All right, Perez. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Of course. Bye.
It was great to chat with Perez and hear his insights and, some of the details from his exclusive interview. I think what it really boils down to is that people are paying a ticket price to be there, have their own experience at a concert. And if artists don't like the fact that people are using their phones, there are options to not have phones available.
Right. We've done it many, many times, right? Bruno Mars, Kevin Hart, Chris Rock. I had to put my phone away for all of those shows. So, and Garth Brooks. We did for Garth Brooks
as well.
Yeah. So great to chat with Perez. And again, we'll talk to Perez for a longer time in the future. Check out his podcast and get all the latest celeb gossip. Yep. All right. So the other night we went to a happy hour, and let me tell you, it was done right because they ordered us an Uber for this one. So I thought, oh my gosh, it's Monday night.
Right?
Wow. So anyway, and we were like, wait, what's going on here? But it was so much fun. And we were there to try a whiskey that is actually made up in northern Nevada. So they're part of our community.
Yeah, it's called Frey Ranch Whiskey. This is the bottle. You can get it in several states. You can order online, have it shipped directly to you. But they just launched this new farm strength uncut version, which is like straight from the barrel, none of the cold filtering or any of that, and it's good.
It is good.
This stuff has become really popular with whiskey aficionados all around the world, and it's exciting. The Frey family has over 160 years of farming experience up in northern Nevada, and in 2006. Colby and his wife Ashley started this whiskey brand. And so they have just taken off. I love that it's a Nevada whiskey, which you don't really hear about people doing homegrown whiskeys from this state.
Yeah. I'm not a big whiskey drinker, any dark colored liquors, but there were some cocktails that we tried where it was a mix, and I really enjoyed those a lot, especially the one that had the little froth on top.
Yeah, the paper crane.
Yes, that was good.
It was good.
So we had a fabulous time, and we support, anything local. We love it. And they just seemed really excited about what they're doing and loved sharing their story with us. So we appreciate a happy hour that has a story behind it. And we just thought, what a great idea. We went over to Sparrow and Wolf, which is a great restaurant on Spring Mountain in Las Vegas. Took our Uber there and took our Uber home. And I was tipsy by the time I left. I'm not going to lie.
I know. My only complaint with the Uber is that the ride there, the driver had the plexiglass wall up between the front and back seats. And it was 115. And none of the air conditioning, there were no back vents, and none of the air was coming to the back, and we were dying. Felt like we were in a greenhouse.
That is awful. And I told you, you need to report that on the Uber app. They want to know about that stuff. That should not be allowed. So you got to report the driver. Yeah, that is not okay. So, but my Uber driver was good. We talked all about Corey Feldman. The conversation we had in our last podcast, we were talking about the Coreys growing up and their movies, and he's like, remember, they had this hotline where you could call him. Like, I don't remember the hotline, but
that has sparked quite the conversation online and elsewhere.
Corey Feldman is, we have some great posts about that on our social media channels, and the comments are funny. Apparently, a couple people asked us, like, how did you not know about this? Or like, everyone knows about this. And I was like, everyone does not know about this because we didn't. We didn't know.
We didn't. And people who we've spoken with didn't know.
Didn't know.
Not everybody knows.
Not everybody knows that Corey Feldman sings. Doesn't just act. He's got a band or a group, or he's a singer, and he's going to be performing at the Sand Dollar at the Plaza in November. So we'll find out. We're kind of all like, now we got to go just for the experience.
I know.
It's like $20.
It'll be fun, and it'll be something to talk about.
It sure will. All right. Well, hey, let's do some tips. All right, for one of our tips today, I thought this was interesting. A new hotel just opened, and I think new is always good for some people. It's not on the Strip, but a lot of people also say, hey, talk to us about things that are off the Strip. And I think this is really great because it's off the Strip, but it's not too far for folks who might want to come into town to see a game, to see a sporting event, or maybe they're going to do some business, go to a convention. It doesn't have a casino or anything like that, but it's called Spring Hill Suites. And I love this, Sean. It's 127 rooms. It's all suites, and they have, get this, complimentary hot breakfast daily, in-room microwaves,
Wow.
mini refrigerators, in-suite workstations with free Wi-Fi, and the 3-in-1 sofa trundle. So
Ooh.
I love it. They also have a dining room, meeting space, pool and hot tub, fitness center, and 24-hour marketplace. It's also pet friendly. A lot
Which
of people,
is great.
People come into town and they say, I need to bring my dog.
I know we always look for places when we're going out of town that are pet friendly, and it's
Right.
really difficult to find good spots.
It is. So I love this. It's called Spring Hill Suites. It is now open, and it's at 215 in Decatur. So you're better at explaining directions. It's to the west of the Las Vegas Strip.
But just barely.
Yeah.
It's like at the 215 I-15 interchange, essentially. So if you go in one direction, you have easy access to Las Vegas Boulevard and Town Square, which is a whole bunch of dining, retail. If you go up Las Vegas Boulevard a little more, you get to Mandalay Bay,
Right.
and all that. So that's super close. If you go further west on the 215, you get to Durango, which is where Durango Station is going to be opening. That's where Uncommons is, which has even more retail and dining options.
Right.
So that location, Decatur and 215, is a really convenient spot. If you are coming to town to stay and you want convenient access that's not directly on the Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah, it sounds great. So I'm excited to have this option for people. It's also close to the airport, and that's
Yeah,
always
very.
a perk too. Some people come in for business or just like overnight, and they just want to be close to the airport. Like, I've got to come in, I've got to do this on the Strip or this somewhere else, and then I got to leave tomorrow.
Right.
And they just want to be close.
Actually, one of my buddies from back in Rochester, he is big in the IT world, and Switch, which is a big company that does a lot of technology stuff. I think they
Right.
do a lot of
Things that
like
are over our
storage, memory things,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that someone's going to write us and tell us that is completely not the right way to explain what they do. But they do like technology, big technology stuff that's important for a lot of companies.
Right.
And I know my buddy has to come in and work on some of those machines. And so this is really close to where Switch is. So, all the people who are involved in that world, this is a convenient option too.
Really good. So anyway, Spring Hill Suites. And then we've got another tip today that has to do with food. We know you love our food tips. And this one is a sushi restaurant right off the Strip. You and I met some folks over there for lunch. We had never been. It's right near the Palms. It's in a plaza. But when we showed up, there was a line.
Yeah, it was before doors even opened. They open at lunchtime. And I was like, wait a second. Is there
this
a
popular?
line to get in? It's called Umaya Sushi. And it was great.
It
I
was.
understand now why there was a line.
Yeah, they have an all-you-can-eat sushi. They have daily specials. The sushi was delicious. We ordered a variety. The people we were having lunch with insisted on the all-you-can-eat. So we tried a little bit of everything. We really enjoyed it. And then one thing that I noticed when I was looking through the menu, and this is something for all of our listeners, okay? Because I know you're going to like this. They have all-day happy hour. $9 cocktails.
I like that.
All day, and a variety of cocktails and different drinks, and then mules,
Yeah.
right? And then they also had $5 shots all day. How about that? And then
if you really want to get turned up.
yeah, and then there was a $6 wine on the menu, but I mean, you can't beat that, really. And again, it's just to the west of the Palms Resort Casino. So check it out.
And one of my favorite things that we had was the salmon belly. I thought that was so good and just buttery and delicious.
Yeah.
I could have had an entire platter of that.
It was all so good. So that's our tips. Check out our Amazon shop. We've had a lot of sales, and we appreciate it. Supports the podcast. We make a little bit of commission. Thank you to all of our subscribers. I can't tell you what a difference you're making. We put a lot more time into the podcast lately, doing the video version on YouTube. Let us know what you think of that. I think you should listen to the audio version and then watch the YouTube version so that we get two.
Well, it's an entirely different experience. Watching, I mean, you hear the show, listen to the show as soon as it comes out. And then later on in the weekend or later on in the week when you have time, pull up the YouTube channel. If you're sitting there on your couch and you're like, oh, I don't know what to watch right now. You're scanning through all your different apps and you're like, oh, I don't know what's on Hulu or Netflix or Max or Prime. It's just so overwhelming. Don't be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Just pull up the Vegas Revealed YouTube channel and watch the latest episode.
I mean, we put a lot of video over our conversations.
There is.
And my mother really enjoys that. She said, I love watching. I watch it on the TV, and it's a show because I can see the video. I mean, it's a show. So we're not just sitting here talking. It's a show. So we're doing it differently. We're doing and utilizing what we know best, our years of being in television for so long.
Yeah.
And so it may not be your normal podcast that you're used to just seeing two people sitting there talking. No, we've got video to complement all this stuff. So check it out. Also check out the link in our show notes for Rollasoles. With the Barbie craze going on, Rollasole has some great hot pink roll-up shoes and some little puffy slides with the little pink puffer.
They're bedazzled a little bit, too.
Yeah. And they roll up. They're great for fitting in luggage. They're great if you want to wear your heels out and you want to just stick a pair in your purse. We get a little bit of money for that, too. And it all helps support the podcast and gives us the ability to be able to do a little bit more on our time.
Yeah, we appreciate the listens, the watches, the downloads, the reviews, all of it.
All of it.
Keep it coming. It's much appreciated. And we'll be back next week with another brand new episode of Vegas Revealed.
Bye.